All right. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're calling from. I'm Mr. M Trades, and today is 10th of November 24. And as usual, we're getting our weekly market prep. This is going to be short 35-minute session. I'm going to go over the tickers that I outlined and will be watching for um taking positions in for during the next week. So we've had an amazing 2 weeks. I think last week especially, after the whole uncertainty following the elections has settled, market took off, and we were already well positioned with our swing trades to kind of and benefited from that. So I hope everyone in the group is doing well. Um, and at the moment, we're not seeing really any signs of the market slowing down. So our current exposure is around 80 to 100%. That's what is recommended. And but we still got to be mindful of what can happen in the market. But I've as I was putting the list together for next week, I was I was pretty one, excited, but two, there's just a lot of stuff. So I'm just gonna jump straight to it. And the first sector that I want to focus on is lithium. Lithium has been is kind of bottoming out, and we're seeing some significant price action and buying happening here over the last week, well, actually couple of weeks. As you can see here, I've sort of put the chart here for Lithium America, LAC ticker, and we're looking at weekly chart here, and it's really sort of basing here and trying to break out from that base on a pretty significant volume here. So we'll be watching for continuation. The key level that I want to see broken out here is going above that 450 level, which is the green over red on the weekly chart. If we go on the daily chart or 24 hours, we've got a bit of a flag here forming. So let's wait for breakout from this downtrend here. So LAC is the first one on the list for the lithium play. Whoa, hold on. The second one here is ALTM. Now, LATM has been on a massive run here from, from 296, and it's been non-stop really over the last couple of sessions here. So it's currently consolidating. Now it's holding levels. We're going to be watching here for the bounce off of that 20 line, because it's went up all the way to 570. So I want to see this bounce off around, let's call it 519 at this point. So so that's what I'm going to be watching for here. But we've got a nice pivot that is forming around here, right, which is around 570, but we want to see some consolidation first. But these are two names in lithium that I will be watching. Right. Another one here, sector that I've outlined is what I've called leaders. And one of them is Meta. It's following earnings. It has a very nice, from following earnings and then this break from the ascending triangle, it went up all the way up to, what was the high here, around 604, and it's been consolidating here. So as far as I reviewed the earnings, they were pretty decent. Yes, they've got some expenditure an investment going forward into the AI space, but as expected. But there was nothing in those earnings that I saw that would have been concerned.
Out of the plan.
Right.
I was wondering what she was
Guys, can you please mute yourselves?
Pot for.
Right. Thank you. Right. Apologies for that. Right. So what we're looking for, I really like this consolidation here. It's a pretty tight range here. It's kind of bouncing here just below the 20-day line, and it's starting to pull back up. So I'll be watching here for move above sort of this buy zone here, just over the around 603, 604. So that's one. That's the one. Now, as I was reviewing purchases of the big hedge funds, can anyone guess which, and put it in the chat or somewhere, guess which stock got the most hedge fund buys last week? Anyone? Any guesses? I'm sure it'll be no surprise to you. No, it wasn't Tesla. I'm not sure if
Palantir.
That's right. That's like ding, ding, ding. Palantir. It was by far the most bought stock by the hedge funds, right? But Palantir is already extended, and you know, and you know me, when we go after the breakouts, you know, we want to follow the money, right? Now, I think long-term Palantir is great, but it's already overvalued, in my opinion, in terms of, you know, its PE ratio. So we may start seeing a bit of a pullback. And again, you know, this is just, I think what I'm trying to say, it needs a pullback, right? Because it's been running non-stop since, you know, around 1176, which is, you know, around 400% at this point. But yes, it was the most popular new buys of sort of top performing stock funds. But what really caught my attention, and this is where I'm looking to position myself moving into next week, where the second amount of buys came, was for Broadcom. And Broadcom is getting quite a bit here. Hold on. We had 7 billion, I think, going into Palantir last week. How much do we have for Broadcom? Yeah, actually, Broadcom had more buys than Palantir, but it's still in the buy range. Right? So total millions invested was for Palantir 7676. For Broadcom, it was 17,235. So 2.5 times more went into Broadcom. And we are only here in a consolidation sort of zone. So I am going to be starting my position here in Avgo, AVGO tomorrow.
That's fine.
What's that? Right. So Avgo is on deck here for tomorrow. That is one of my top picks for swing. So I'm just going to go move that down here. And then the next one that I looking at here is Costco, and Costco has been doing really, really well. And now it's breaking out of that sort of flat base that we've got going on here. So if anyone, you know, kind of like Costco, it's looking pretty decent as well. So Costco is next one on my list. And the final in the leaders category, I've got VRTX. And it's looking really, really well as well. Coming out of that nice and tight consolidation on that flat base. So if we compare the breakout levels here, from here to there, you know, we've got around 15% gain. We've got, well, how many weeks we've got here of consolidation? Well, we've got around, you know, 14 weeks of consolidation, which is nice, and it held the level. So I think this VRTX also looking good. Right. I actually was able to find a new potential leaders for or competitors for the chip stocks as I was going for. One swing which we are already in is ALAB, but I think it still shows some good promise here for continuation. So if you missed our entry, which was around 89, you know, this is your second chance to get in here as well. Excuse me. So ALAB is, you know, is one of those contenders, and it's got an IPO base. You break out, you know, if you've been trading with me for quite some times, then you know what the breakouts are capable of. So keep ALAB in mind as his prime candidate for AI chip stocks. Next one, and this one is a little bit extended, but we may, you know, wait for a pullback, but it's MTSI. As you can see, it's been doing really well here as well, and all the bases that it's broken out of, you know, just continue grinding up. I want to confirm the earnings here. They just had the earnings, and they had a nice gap up here. So what we're looking here on MTSI is for this sort of consolidation here. As you can see, the retracements above following that breakout is pretty tight. But what I want to see, it's actually moving here above the previous day's high, which is around 140.60. So for continuation. So I'll set my alarm there to alert me when we get there. And yeah, if not, it can take a couple of days here to consolidate, which is absolutely fine. But after that, we may go for that. Next one, similar setup here for AI chip stocks is SITM, and this one also looking very promising. Sort of following that breakout, we've got pretty shallow sort of consolidation here of around 12%, and it's been consolidating here for, what is it, how long is that? Month and a half, right? So we get a nice time to consolidate following that breakout from here. Nice and tight consolidations, and you know, we just got a huge volume post positive earnings, you know, growth of 53%. So these three stocks is what I'm actually liking very much. Again, ALAB, MTSI, and SITM. This is what I'm watching for. Normally, to get the best return on our entries, we really want to position ourselves for, you know, for the pivot entries or for the proper buy points. Currently, it's already up here 20%, but that's post earnings. So what we normally do on those type of moves, we want to, let it run and then pull back, consolidate it a little bit, and then, we can get in. Right, I'm going to go here faster because I want this to be a pretty quick session. So, right, cybersecurity stocks. I've got 4 here that I want to go over as they look really well, really good as well. So FTNT, so Fortinet, right, just reported nice and positive earnings. Right, we can see solid growth here, pretty good sort of forecast, positive cash flow, etc. But anyways, it's just reported earnings, dipped a little bit, but then found a lot of demand here, and it's now sort of moving back up. So normally what we would do here, we would go on a follow through day for this play above the sort of follow through day here. So honestly, we are only on this play, if we call this our entry zone, we only here around 4% up into the buy zone. So we still got a little bit of space, a little bit of room here to get in there. And if we go back and look at the past history when this happened, then we can see that triggered another big move like this one right over here, right? We had a nice continuation. So this is, and this is pretty big base as well. And this has been ranging for a long time. So this is new all-time high here breaking. So watch for FTNT. So I want to set my letter here. Right, next security stock that I'm got here is Net. Right, also reporting earnings, but it's coming out here to our buy zone. We want to see breaking clear with conviction around this level. So let's set our alarm here. Next up, we've got a QLIS. Again, breaking out from the downtrend here. Now, post earnings, we had a massive, volume. So there will be a lot of interest, but we need to see a bit of consolidation. Give a little bit of handle here to kind of come down, consolidate, and then we want to see it moving back up. But now it may come and test this previous resistance as support, and continue going up. So we'll be continue watching for this. And again, all the plays that I'm reviewing here is what I'm identifying for, moving forward. So this, if you're making notes or anything, then, keep it on your watch list and watch for those breakout points. And the last one that I've got here is Crowdstrike. We do like Crowdstrike. Obviously, they, that big drop here was caused by this outage with this bug that they've caused, I guess. But it's been recovering here nicely. It's been trading in that channel. So one thing that I would note is, we're coming to the top of that channel here, which is going to be 350 level, in my opinion. And yeah, it's going to be crucial point of, what's going to happen if it's going to go there. Is it going to break higher, or is it going to be, is it going to do this and then this and just continue, or is it just going to break like so, right? But overall, Crowdstrike, I think it's got a solid future. So, if you want it long term, it's a pretty solid company as well. Right, next sector that I want to cover is energy. And the first one up is TLN, so Tallinn Energy Corporation. And Tallinn has been breaking out here, right? So we've got it just literally just broke out here from the buy point. We're in the buy zone here. The buy point was around 200. Wow, 208. There we go. So still in the buy point, but you know, that company, wow, just look at that, just massive, right? And then, you know, the notes that I've got here, the backdrop of regulators rejecting Talon Energy nuclear power deal with Amazon. You know, if you remember, there's a lot of talk here for regulations for the nuclear power going into the future. And yeah, so this one is definitely one to watch. So put it on your watch list there. Next one up, VST. Vistra Corp, right? Sort of, again, another massive runner here. Following a base, we had a breakout, nice and tight, sort of flat base consolidation, and now it wants to break higher. So anything above 103, 143.50 is entering our buy zone here. Okay, actually, this one is right. This one is actually not a energy. This was his payment provider. This is Payo, Payo, and is a competitor for Square, PayPal, and others. And it's had a massive run and massive beat here on earnings. Let's see the full picture. Yeah, 267% on EPS, and solid double-digit growth on sales as well. Positive cash flow, return on equity at 15%. Number of funds, ownership by funds is 54%, and number of funds are increasing. And you know, it's got exactly what we like, right? After the earnings, which is, you know, that sort of breakout, follow through, like I said, tight consolidation, and we're now looking for it to break higher. So if you want to diversify and want to go into any payment providers, you know, it's here coming to another buy zone here on increasing volume at $11. So we'll like that. Okay, next one up is one that we already in, which is HIMS. And again, it's got it on massive, like on a monthly chart. It's got a beautiful cap and handle forming here. So, you know, we kind of went in for the early entry, but you know, my price target here on this one is around 30. That's where I want to be in, and it's looking incredibly strong, especially when you look at the volume and overall performance. Next one up is Joule, and again, breaking out of its, you know, IPO base here. There we go. And now it's sort of pushing higher. So it's been sort of on a huge run here for the last whatever 4 months. Right, 127%. And it's still looking solid. So it's just reported last week, and it's now sort of clearing that high here. So keep it on a high watch. Next one here is Cisco Systems. Again, this one, however, has got earnings coming up on Wednesday, so we need to be mindful of that. But is breaking out of currently here from this huge cap consolidation, and yeah, cap and handle, if you will. But I'm watching this pivot because I want it to clear it here. I want maybe to go higher, test it as support, and then go back up. So Cisco is on watch here, especially on Wednesday for earnings. Next one up is CTAS or Cintas Corporation, and you know, this one is already running. What is it? How much? We'll check the. We're literally just about to exit the buy zone. So, but it's looking really good and starts to pick up some volume here. So on a weekly, very nice and tight consolidation, and it's and we can see that it's done it before, right? Which is sort of went up, pulled back, consolidated, created nice and tight sort of flat base before it decides to go on another run. And that itself here was what? Around 20% move. So definitely that I'm watching. I'll be watching this one. Right, next one up. I think these are my top picks that I'm definitely going to be watching like a hawk here, going into next week. And one of them is DECK, DECK. And this one is also from what I was looking. This one had a lot of interest in terms of the hedge funds buying as well. Let me just check the number here. Deck, yeah, Deck, yeah. Almost 2 billion bought. Yeah. So yeah, Deck is definitely a top contender here for position going into next week. We'll also get a nice ascending triangle. We need to clear this level here around 184. So we've got a bit of nice an early entry here. And we've got a bit of room to build our positions and then get to that top range here, which is around 184. So from here to there, we've got around 5%. So we can build our cushion going into there as well. Next one up, also liked by funds here is HWM. And this one in particular, I like a lot. So very nice tight range here. A couple of weeks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of consolidation, and then volume is coming up. So got a nice confluence here, right? And now we're looking to push higher. So where are we now here? Just about to exit the buy zone here as well. So, but DEG and HWM, I like a lot. And the third one was, what did I say was that? It was Avgo. So these are my sort of top 3 picks for sure. And another monster here. Continue. Walmart. Yeah, top funds also added shares of Walmart to the shopping cart, pouring 755 million into the retailer. So, and we want to be following the big guys. So next setup that I like quite a bit here is Owl. So Blue Owl Capital. And yeah, it's sort of currently building a flag, pulled back to the 20-day line, and we will be looking for it to break here above 24.20. Next one up here, we've got Halo. We've got a handle forming for our cup. So where we want to go here is watching for that level. So next one up here is MRX. I think we played that one on our 2-swing challenge. Unfortunately, we got stopped out over here, but it's getting gaining strength here as well. So it may need a little bit pullback, but I still like that play. It had a the setup looked right for a move, and it did. Unfortunately, we were too early in that one. Next one up is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still, very, very strong, and it's, breaking highs here. And I think the proper buy point was here around 144 as well. So it's still in the buy zone. Now, you kind of have to place your bets, right? Which is, there will be plays that are going to be, there will be plays that will have potentially, better setups than proven leaders, right? Like NVIDIA. So you kind of have to place your bets where you want to allocate. But long term NVIDIA is going to be just absolutely fine. Next one up here is Hubs or HubSpot, right? Very nice here, breaking the downtrend, moving higher, and now coming up to sort of clear the recent high following positive earnings. So we're looking for break here, early entry above 672, and then test to 694 and push higher. And then coming back to the fold is lower. We already played this one, from the break here. But it went all the way up to 97, but it's coming back up here, and it's forming ascending base, and it's with a buy point here around 92 17. There we go, which would be right here. There we go. And next one up here is ODD. ODD. And this one in particular, from technical analysis, when I was charting this, I thought, like, what a beautiful chart. Because the symmetry, I guess. But I mean, look at that symmetrical triangle here, and it's kind of doing all the right things. Moving here above this key pivot level, sort of beat on earnings here, as well, consolidation, and then breakout, and now it's coming up here to break out of this pivot right over here. And what we want to see here is sort of moving into that zone, which would trigger the buy point, and then we're going to continue here to those levels like 48, 50, and then potentially break out of this IPO base. That's what we want to see. Next one up, I'm still holding here at Powell, right? And Powell it's just amazing from our entry here, around, I can't remember, but you can clearly see we've got a sort of nice break. We have broken out of this level, this one here, right? And it went up like 30%, and which triggered our 30-day rule, 8-week hold rule. So I think the last week when I was saying that, we're still holding. Look at that nice bounce here of the 20-day line, right? And there's sort of very nice tight consolidation, went up, and it's just exploded last week. Yeah, 216. There we go. So yeah, so that was round about here on that tight consolidation, and just beautiful. And we still still inside that 8-week hold rule, by the way. So just want to point out here that, we're already up like 60% on that play itself. But these are the leaders, these are the moves that we're looking for. So, okay. Next one up here is Root. That caught my attention because we had this massive move post earnings, right? That went up all the way from here to there, like 87%, and that pulled back, and it's now consolidating. It's moving above this, around 87 mark resistance. And I'd like to see how it acts around here when it clears it, and then whether we can go here, because it went all the way up to 118. So we've got a bit room here to go as well. So I'm just going to set myself an alarm here for that break, and then we're going to see how it goes. And then next one up here, I think everyone has seen that Bitcoin broke 80K, right? So any mining stocks will be up significantly, in my opinion, tomorrow morning in pre-market. They're going to gap up, and we'll see how HUT is acting here as well. But honestly, what we need here is a bit of a handle to be put in, right? But I reckon it's gonna go up here, and it's gonna try to break. But eventually, what we want to do is wait for that handle to form. There we go. Right, so these are the ones that I've managed to review. What else do we have? Earnings watch. We've got Kava coming up for earnings, and this is already swing that we're in, and it's continued to move higher, and we got it around, I don't remember, what was it, 128, something like that. But it's got earnings coming up on Tuesday after close, so so watch it. And then also we've got shop earnings coming up. Shop earnings coming up here on Tuesday before market open. So what do we have here? Revenue increased 21, 2 billion volume. All right, so company forecasts Q3 revenue growth in the low to mid 20s% rate versus the analyst consensus of 21 increase to 0.07 billion. Adjusted profit is expected to increase 14% to 27 cents a share, with revenue up 23% to just over 2.1 billion, which would beat the expectations. So and we'll be watching shop here and how it performs. I'm gonna get a pullback on the shares before earnings. The next key place that we've got reporting here is 4, which is already our ongoing swing, right? And as we can see here, pretty solid forecast moving into the earnings, and it's been a pretty solid run as well. And look at that power move from last earnings, pretty massive. So 4, and then we've got Spotify as well reporting next week. Yeah, Spotify also been on a tear, but it's coming up to the top of that channel. So we'll see how that goes. Right, what else have we got here? I'm just finishing some other stuff. Right, so we've got IoT is the one that looks very strong here. And it's got earnings went on 5th of December. But yeah, the IoT is breaking breaking higher here. It's got a RS rating on 94, and it just bounced back off the sort of 10-day line here. All right, so we'll add IoT to our watch list. FTNT already said that we've got this one. Let's take a look at Zeta. Yeah, so Zeta is looking really strong over here, especially on that weekly volume. So, but it is a bit extended here from this base. So we really need to pull back. We need to see a little bit more consolidation here on that base forming potentially, you know, around here before it'll become an attractive opportunity. Okay, what else have we got here? So coin, let's look at coin. It's been up massively, but it's forming that double bottom here. So profit buying with 272.50 here. Yeah. So as we move above this pivot, sort of got a nice double bottom entry here, above 272.50 on coin. Okay, few more. I think new is still one of our swings. Still coming out of that flat base consolidation here. So that's all good. Someone asked, what do you check to use hedge funds action like that? I just gives the access to IBD resources, so I can see the report. Yeah, and then looking at some, I think we had some one of our ETF swings, which is FFTY. That is already, I think we got in on this one for like 24 something, didn't we? Yeah, I think we got it somewhere there or there. I think it was maybe there. So this one is, hitting 30 now, already exceeding expectations. I think last week we started a new swing here on IBIT on the Bitcoin ETF, and that is doing amazing as well already. You know, I think we well into, you know, 10% profits on that one. Let me just check what else did we. Do we have? Yeah, I've got a full position here on IGV. Come on, computer. There we go. So this is really taking up, and I think we got in somewhere around 97. So this is taking off. We increased it to full position as well. So yeah, if you guys like to get an exposure to some ETFs, then please do. Look at the ETF swings channel. What else have we got here? So it says Tesla, BT. Yeah, one second. I mean, Tesla, you know, what can I say? I mean, it's had a huge week, right? Get the chart up. Yeah, the proper buy point here was from that cap and handle here, around 272. But you know, Tesla is unpredictable. You know, you can clearly go and you know, have a starter in here as we break above this pivot, because we can go above here. But personally, you know, it's a bit extended. I do have Tesla long term. I do own Tesla stock, you know, in my long-term portfolio. It depends really what you want to do with it. Okay, ELF. Yeah, I like ELF. You know, it had a, you know, I think we started position on ELF. So I do have position in ELF around this level here. Had a massive beat on earnings, and you know, here's the buy zone. So yeah. Now I'm not sure if I like the word load. If you should load, you should you know, have your defined risk and then build your swing plays accordingly. All right, there are a few other things that I want to look at. Yeah. Yeah, I mean BT, you know, Bitcoin mining again. So cap and handle part in here. No, Nico, that's the other session. You know, it's 10:30 p.m. here. And I'm over time now. So I'm gonna have to be some one of the sessions during the week. But you know, I think there's in knowledge or educational channels you'll find explanation exactly how I build my swings. To look at that. But I want to see MCHP. So yeah, BT, you know, it's gonna follow Bitcoin. So MCHP, Microchip Technology Corporation, seems to have really strong and long-term support. So I'll keep an eye on this to see how it acts. Then we've got PAA and look at yeah, thanks, Nick. Right, I'll be watching PAA the next couple of weeks. And then plug for energy play as well. And that's more speculative. Oh, and path. That's the one I was that I was looking for here as well. So path, building a base, pretty long one. And it's kind of bottomed out and is looking for, we've got a pretty big move here all the way up to like 18. So I'll be watching that as well. But again, there's a lot, right? Obviously, my top three, if I was to go on to, if I was to sort of narrow down to three, I would go for Avgo, DEC, and HWM. Purely because, the big fellas are putting the money into them. But as usual, we'll see what the market action brings us tomorrow and into the week. And we'll start allocating. Don't forget, we still got quite a bit of allocation in our existing swings. And I hope that that it's helping you guys to see how we can sort of maximize those returns on those swings. But we start building other positions accordingly, and just try to find the next leaders. That's what this is all about, is about doing it the right way. I said it wrong, not the right way, but the method with the right methodology, right? That's been proven and tested for hundreds of years. Because this stuff is not something that I came up with. I'm trying to bring it to you guys and simplify it. So you can better understand it. But we want to position ourselves, where the moves are happening. We're not going to bottom fish. We're not going to go after, something that is being pumped up on social media, on Twitter or whatever. Like, let's get in before the move happens, and then, hit it hard, build our positions, build that confidence. When we add to that positions, we're not going to be, averaging down. That's not what we do, right? We average up, adds to the winners, and reduce the losers. And in a nutshell, that's what it is. But again, as you can see, there's a lot of work that goes into it, and screen time and understanding of all those nuances is really what you need to sort of do and understand. So hopefully you enjoy this as much as I do. And with that being said, I'll close this call. If you have any questions, leave your comments in the chat. If you've got something nice to say, please leave the testimonials, because it helps bring other people into the group. And I leave you with a very positive quote, I think from Einstein, who said that, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. And that is exactly what we're trying to do, compound our gains in our portfolios, so we can get that financial independence. With that thought, I'll wish you good night, and a great rest of your day. And I'll catch you all tomorrow with a daily watch list. Have a great one. Bye.